everybody? Welcome back to the Monkey Brothers Nerd Show. This is going to be a continuation of the last episode, in that it's going to be about the first time experiences at a Comic-Con for me, and also input from Doc. So,
Cowtown,
yeah,
Comic-Con.
This is Cowtown Comic-Con. Just happened. What's July 24th and the 25th?
Yes.
So I'm gonna kind of pull up a small scene here, kind of showing. This is kind of like the first part that I found interesting. There's a grand total of like 3 things that I found interesting throughout the Comic-Con, and that's not to say that there's nothing else that was interesting. But as a first time goer of a Comic-Con, these are the things I found interesting. And I'm gonna pause the video pause the what's playing in the background here at certain aspects, so I can show you. But yeah, this is actually I think it's the left side as soon as you enter the convention center at Cowtown Comic Con. There are several little booths, and at the time, I think we were here early, so not a lot of things were setting up. Or rather, not a lot of things were set up. You can see that some of them were set up, and then you see some volunteers there. The stairs going down to the parking garage, which, as Doc mentioned, we had a hard time finding. Some chairs, because apparently I decided to...
oh no, Louis fell on the ground. Oh, he's back up again.
Yeah. In case you wanted to see my stomach for some reason.
So just let y'all know, this is our first time using a gimbal.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty obvious. I will say for those of you considering a gimbal, it was a worthy investment for us. Like I said, we're having our little growing pains.
Yeah.
But you can tell that the image, whether it's right side up or sideways, it's actually, there's no shakiness to it.
Yeah.
Which is one of the main things for me that I liked about it. So,
one of the things I would suggest in learning to use your gimbal, so we played around with it for a good 2 hours beforehand. Unfortunately, we did not walk around with it and try to use it. So using it, walking around is significantly different than just like playing around with it on the couch. Yeah. So,
yeah, definitely no playing around with it on the couch.
Well, that's something else. You can play around with it all you want.
Just not on the couch.
Hey man, if it's your couch, you can do whatever the hell you want. But yeah, coming up is actually one of the first places I found very interesting. If you look here, you'll see a lot of Mandalorian stuff, and it's not quote unquote Mandalorian stuff from the show, but rather Mandalorian as in the species of human that Boba Fett is, But there's a whole bunch of Mandalorian cosplayers, right? And I found this kind of interesting because, we walked right past this, or we were about to walk past this, and they started going in about how there's different millimeters of the foam, and there's different materials, and by all means, I kind of want to cosplay something. I don't know what, but it is very interesting, So seeing all these different materials and the fact that they crafted it was pretty interesting.
Everything apparently except for the helmets.
Yeah.
They got those done in Florida. But, it was very impressive. And one thing I will say, that when we went, you thought of questions to ask a cosplayer that I never usually would. I never would have stopped at this table and, had such an engaging conversation with these cosplayers as you did. Just because I've never even considered cosplaying, says the person wearing a mask on YouTube. But realistically, they spent a good amount of time, and I'm going to assume money, crafting everything. Just in the shows too. They were very proud of their work, like you said,
and they should be, because it was all beautiful. Yeah,
yeah, and they were very, very detailed about the level of thickness of the. Is it acrylic plastic or?
I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Yeah,
I learned so much about everything, throughout this convention that it's It's a bit ridiculous, to be honest.
Like one of the things that you don't see, there's a gentleman that will be coming into the picture in a couple of minutes. He did a lot of his costume. It was leather, right?
Yeah, he actually used leather working. But like specifically on here, I'm trying to point something out that I can't. Anyways, but on here, they do mention that they molded it with heat and everything, and so it's a temperature sensitive material, right?
Yes. But
what I found interesting was like you said, the helmets. So everybody has a custom made helmet.
Right now, they're talking about their guns that are 3D printed.
Yes, and if I remember correctly, they had a thermal detonator. Yeah, there it is.
Not a real thermal detonator, but nonetheless.
I mean, yeah, you don't want a small nuclear blast in the middle of Texas.
Yeah, nobody wants to blow a compound.
But yeah, like I like how they each have their own custom helmets, and I mean, I'm thinking about maybe getting one in the future, possibly way in the future. But one of the things we did wind up asking them is like, how do they get their helmets? Because we have big melon heads.
That's right, kids. Melons like these, they don't come easy. We train really hard.
I mean, I wouldn't say train.
Well, I want to say genetically gifted, but both of our parents have normal sized heads. I don't know.
Yeah. Here's the other guy that we mentioned.
Yes, that gentleman right there. I think out of all the Mandalorians that were there, he had. I want to say they were all very impressive, but that to me,
yeah,
because the question that we asked was, how do you keep your
glasses from fogging up?
Yeah, and he said, hey, this is when I ordered my helmet. This is what I wanted done specifically to it, so I could lift my visor. Now, the other interesting thing that we were asking was like, it's Texas, and depending on where they're from, it's it's hot.
Yeah.
And I've seen helmets that are done that have little AC units inside of it, little fans.
Yeah. I actually went back to him later and saw inside his helmet, and he has 3 little AC units in there.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting.
Smart. Right now, he's showing you his
the leatherworking part.
Yes. And awesome, right there.
Yeah.
And honestly, out of everything that I saw, that to me, I was like, oh man, that would be sweet. I don't know if I want to cosplay as a Mandalorian, but that leather work was so impressive.
Yeah. And we're gonna throw up some pictures that we took of them later. We were kind of posing with them and whatnot. So I mean, their entire costumes when it's put together is incredibly amazing.
And as Louis said, so honestly, the one thing that I learned from this, even though I need to have more fun with it, because seeing you pose with the Mandalorians versus my pose, and I think there's like a little short burst video on Instagram, and I look so standoffish that like I'm looking at him like, oh, I think you have the plague. Let me stand. Oh, 6 foot distancing rule, and my arms behind my back, and it's so funny, but it's like I'm so used to just going for the art that I bypass everything else. And what I realized at this Comic-Con is that as much as I enjoy it with my friends, I also need to take the time to just enjoy being there at Comic-Con. Look at those wonderful people there. They were so happy to tell us all about how they made stuff, why they made stuff, where they're from, which obviously, sadly, right now I can't remember.
Yeah, but I do remember their Instagram handle is Clan Murraan. That's MURRAAN. And it is more than the 3 of them. There's a whole list of other Mandalorian cosplayers that all have their individual costumes, and going through their Instagram, even the other costumes are pretty cool. Because some of them don't take it as serious as
Oh, there's people that take it really, really seriously.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But for sure, we'll include their IG down below. Please give them a follow. They're really a bunch of great people, or especially if you're interested in maybe, joining up, being a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
The people that we met are really great, and they were more than so knowledgeable. And if you're interested, I'm sure they'd be more than willing to point you in the right direction.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, just they were so descriptive with what the millimeters were of each of those foam pieces there, and how they made it. Even going as far as like I don't know if you can make it out there on the breastplate there. But at one point I did ask, are those actual rivets? And the owner of that, which is believe is the woman to the left of her, she actually picked it up and showed me the backside of it, and you can actually see that there is rivets back there.
Oh wow!
So I mean, it is like, by all means, there's ways to, I guess, cheat the look of a rivet, but those were actual real rivets.
Great workmanship in that one.
Of course, yeah.
And amazingly enough, right now you don't see them in their Mandalorian garb. The gentleman back there is putting on half a but later on, these guys were just full-fledged, all in costume, as hot as it was, walking around the sales floor. So, yeah.
This is another one of the spots that I found really interesting. I'm going to pause the video here real quick. Just right off the bat, going to go ahead and throw in the Instagram because we did it almost at the very end of the clan Murraan. But this is Illuminati Kitten.
Yes. Katie Blake.
Katie Blake, yes. She's a cosplayer, I believe from here, Texas, right?
Yes.
And she is cosplaying Roadhog from the game Overwatch. In the video I actually got it wrong, but I'm kind of glad that there's no audio, even though I'm shooting myself in the foot. I said Junkrat, which is close enough.
Hey, I mean, honestly, you got a hell of a lot closer than I did, because at first I was like, that's very interesting cosplay. Too bad I don't know what the hell that is. But
yeah.
Now, what I did like is, you'll see it in a second. She has a mannequin back there with a scorpion outfit.
Yes.
And I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, it was also very nice of her. Like she shows it off. She shows it off, and I actually asked, can I go back there and actually kind of record it, because I thought it was amazing. Like if you look at it, the work that she put into this, I mean, yeah, like right there, she's just saying, yeah, come on back, and so I'm going through and the funny thing is, so I mean, I didn't mean to point it out, but I was like, oh my god, like in a second you'll see. But I was like, oh my god, do you actually wear this costume with no shoes? And she's like, no, I actually forgot one of my shoes back home. And she was like, it was a 5-hour drive for her. So she was like, just leave it off the costume. Which, is one of those things, but it was like amazing. I was like, okay, good. Because I couldn't imagine walking around the hot Texas floor with no shoes.
Exactly. No, and again, another super friendly person that we met.
Yeah.
She was incredibly easy to talk to. Sometimes when you go to these Comic Cons, I mean, it's just like people that you meet in real life. Some people are very friendly and very talkative. Mm-hmm. And some people are very standoffish. But obviously she was there to interact with the fans, and kudos to her for being very friendly and just so great. She had stickers for sale. I didn't actually go through her portfolio.
I did a little bit,
and but her page again will be
in the
bottom.
description. Yeah.
And
so give her a follow too. She has some amazing cosplays on that.
Yeah, she does, and she's pretty awesome. I mean, more than anything else, we're including all these people because they made the con experience so much better.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually pausing it here because I actually really like this photo because it's very dynamic in that she's throwing that kunai.
Oh yeah.
And so it's it's not. I mean, it's a prop, but the fact that it's in motion kind of gives that photograph a little bit more oomph, in my opinion.
That photo trickeration, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess had I paid attention, I would have known that the costume had shoes, but I don't know who she's cosplaying there. And I believe, it's the same costume on that page. And I believe in this next page, she's doing Tiny Tina and Elizabeth from BioShock.
Yeah, again, like I said, she was super sweet.
Yeah, she was.
The gentleman and I was rude. I never asked the gentleman's name that was sitting there with her at her booth. They told us they were going to their next show was in Odessa, I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
In a couple of weeks. Yeah. So hope they get a lot of new followers and hope they because they were great people to talk to.
Yeah.
They asked us about Monkey Brothers and. We appreciate that, because they didn't have to do that, but they went out of their way to, be interested in what we were doing and why we were doing.
Yeah.
So it's always good to get that interest reciprocated.
Yeah, this hook thing that she made is actually pretty impressive too. Because I mean, getting this shape here, for it to be stable and not to just break instantly the moment you tap it against something. Yeah, that's pretty impressive for me. Yeah, and I've tried working with foam just to make some toy weapons here and there, and the slightest tap will crack it, and it's over. Yeah, so the fact that she got it that thin and curved, pretty impressive.
I just realized that she has those little hooks on her shoes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Little horns.
Yeah, and she has this gun right here. I wanted to get a closer shot of the gun. But yeah, I like that kind of Roadhog face mask that she has going on.
Yeah.
It kind of gives a Roadhog, and the contacts. At that point, I was like, oh my god, your eyes, those are cool. Because I'm pretty sure contacts can be pretty.
And there's the gentleman that was with her.
Yeah.
At her booth. So,
well, hold on a second. I need to go back for that one. So this one's a big one for me, and I think it is for almost any cosplayer.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. So let's give it a second to roll back forward a bit, and come on me. There it is. That right there.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. By all means, the costume, yes, she's showing skin. It does not give you permission to grab her. Does not give permission to kiss her. Does not just,
It doesn't give you permission to be inappropriate.
Correct.
It's always, it's like anything else. It's a common courtesy. Like, hey, there was a cosplayer named Dominique Sky who was at another show a couple of weeks back, and she blurted out on Twitter that she was very appreciative of the fans because they were asking, hey, do you mind if I get closer to you in the picture?
Yeah. Or,
hey, it was just a comment. You're not going to go up to somebody on the street and say, hey, I think you're just this way. Let me just put my arms around and take a picture.
I mean,
especially in the times that we're in now, ask, be considerate.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, if you want to pose in a certain pose, ask.
Yes, definitely.
And by all means, if they say no, just take it as no. Don't ask why. Doesn't matter why. Yeah?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty important. Yeah.
Yes.
I do wish I would have gotten one of her cards. I think I did grab one of her cards, but I think I lost it. But there is her IG handle there. And again, it's going to be in the description below as well. She was also selling stickers, which I did go back and eventually buy some of those, because some of those are pretty cool. I think if you look around, there is a green goblin there, and that's one of the ones I got.
Goes right on the laptop.
Yep. Speaking of which, you need to dish those out. Split them up. You choose the ones that you want. Yeah.
Yeah. Comic-Con swag.
Pretty much. I don't know why I stayed on this shot so long. Stickers.
I think at that point you were trying to select which ones you wanted.
I had a little bit, yeah. I don't know who that is right there. It's a mysterious person.
The mysterious stranger.
So, I mean, this is I'll pause it here. I mean, just in case. But from here, this booth right next to him was still setting up. It was a face painting booth. Thought it was cool, but I'm going to move on to the next part. All right, so next up is the author T.B. Phillips. He is the author of Endon Awakens, and also this book right here, the what's it called, the Wailing Tempest.
He just won an award, correct?
Yeah, he won the. You had to call me out on that, right? But I'll put up the award that he won because it is on his book, so I'll go ahead and put a picture of his book. I did go ahead and buy it, and he was kind enough to sign it for me.
Overall, I think this is probably one of my favorite parts to our adventure here.
Yeah, this was actually one of my favorite parts right here. He's a really interesting guy. Former Navy, former school principal. I believe from here in Texas, from Wichita Falls.
Yes, Wichita Falls.
Yeah, and so what I found about his book. What actually attracted me to this table, as you will see here in a second, is that he has a map, and in the actual video back there that you're seeing, I'm actually telling him, yeah, I'm a sucker for world maps, and I'm a sucker for good world maps. So yeah, he's about to hand me one right now, which I was a bit like derpy on it, and like he's handing it to me, and I'm just sitting there like recording it, like kind of like a dumbass. So.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I mean,
Yep, just gonna sit here and record it. Let him hold it for, a very long time. But yeah, I started reading his book, and it's actually pretty good, to be honest. You can see that the sticker that's on the book right there. Apparently, he had just gotten those stickers because I think he said that he just won the award that day.
I mean, congratulations to him. I have not read the book, but just meeting the person, I mean, overall, really, really good guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was very, very kind enough to ask us about Monkey Brothers Nerd Show.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike some of the people we encountered, he didn't try to do the hard sell. Didn't try to be like, yeah, you guys are world famous, that type of thing.
Yeah.
He was very genuine. Is what I liked about him.
Very genuine, yeah.
And his daughter was also really cool.
Yeah.
She was nice enough to just follow our social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So really appreciate that very much.
Yeah. I believe her name is Jen Phillips.
Yes, Jen.
Yeah. At least that's what's on her profile on YouTube.
Yes. So, I mean, if you happen to watch this, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you to you and your father.
Very great, awesome conversation. I had a little one-on-one conversation with him that was more on the personal side, but
yeah,
like you said, very interesting guy. I mean, like you said, former Navy, father of how many 3 kids? I think he said.
I think he said 3 kids. Yes.
And to know that he wrote these books for his kids, correct?
Yeah.
So if you guys have a chance, you guys should definitely check out his book. Louis recommends it.
Yeah. I mean, I would say about a fourth of the way through it. I can actually recommend it. Usually if the book doesn't get me within the first few chapters, I'm like, and I'll drop it. But
definitely, I agree. It's got to have that hook where it just hits you.
Yeah, exactly. So I can, after reading the first few chapters, I was like, okay, yeah, I can continue reading this. So I'll give a better review after I finish the book. Probably another future video, but for now, I can actually recommend it. It's worth starting up, and I'm actually probably gonna see if I can reach out and get him to either ship me or kind of, because I want him to sign all 3 of those books. Yeah.
No,
or if I can buy the books and then send it to him and he can ship them back.
That would be a very cool addition to your growing library there. But that should be something that you start. Like whenever, maybe we should do that every time we go to a Comic-Con. See if we can find an interesting author. See if we can I never, until right now, I never thought about books.
Yeah.
So that was actually like I said, it was a very good conversation that we had, and probably one of the best moments we had at this Comic-Con.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not to say that the tea place wasn't amazing. It was just, this was a good conversation with a good person. The book is good. I mean, it was just, I don't know how many more times I can use the word good.
Yeah, it was all around. I think probably one of the best experiences we had.
Yeah,
and I think for me, being a con-goer longer than you, I think I could honestly say that was probably one of my top moments at a convention.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video right there. But it's if I remember correctly, his exact words, and I don't want to spoil it too much, is it's about a young girl that's kidnapped into human trafficking, into a pirate ship, which goes into a mutiny, and then she becomes the captain of it. And she is then hell-bent on killing every man she meets.
Well, I was going to say very Princess Bride, but maybe not.
Yeah. No as you wish here.
No. No as you wish whatsoever.
Yeah. But yeah, for now I can recommend the book. Like I said, I don't see. Oh yeah, his book is also available on. Available in audiobook and Audible. Is an ebook, And what else did you say?
It's available on all platforms, pretty much.
Okay, yeah. Which, I mean, if we're going to continue this trend of getting books, I'm going to have to get a bigger bookshelf because, you know, all those D&D books that I have are starting to blow the shelf I already have. But yeah, overall, I mean, that was a good con experience. I think those were the highlights of my first Comic-Con. And so, you know, it was just kind of. But what do you think of? I mean, I know these are my thoughts on my first Comic-Con, but like,
I mean, my personal thoughts on Cowtown was I'd never been to the show. Apparently, I think this is the second year of it. Mm-hmm. You know, which I'm like, seriously, I've never heard of it. Which again, it's not a knock. I just haven't heard of it.
Correct.
I will say that other than not being able to find where to park for like 5 minutes once we got there, this was in Hurst, Texas. I really enjoyed it, and I think for me, there's a comfort level when it's a smaller show.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed this show. You know, you walk in, go from the parking garage, you walk upstairs, or you take the elevator, and then when you walk out, you think this is it because it leads into the lobby of the building, and you see the artist alley. And so, one of the things that I felt comfortable with was that it was very surprising when you walked out that everybody was super friendly. Everybody, nobody was trying to like hard sell you on stuff. Everybody said hello,
except for a few people.
Well, yeah, but nonetheless, Katie Blake, the cosplayer that we met, she was super friendly. The Mandalorians, super friendly. But what I liked is when they opened up Artist Alley, when they opened up, you know, where everything was, it was actually pretty big. Yeah, and the light. I mean, for me, these are like important things. The lights weren't going to burn out your eyes. Yeah, and everything that was dim, but enough so that you could still see the lighting was perfect. You know, it was nice and cool inside. And the reality was, I mean, it was just an overall good show. Yeah. It seemed to be really well run, you know, and everybody just seemed to genuinely be happy to be there. Yeah. Which is always a good thing. Now, I didn't go Sunday, so, you know, Sunday is a good day if you want to find some bargains. So I didn't go Sunday. I chose to stay in and sleep. So, but there are more shows coming up. Yeah. That we will be there building up to the big show in September.
Yep. We'll be going to the show in August.
Yep, the Dallas Comic Book Show by Mark Walters.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we'll be going to that one. Going to be getting our tickets pretty soon, hopefully. And yeah, I think with that, we'll go ahead and sign off here. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you let us know what you think of the video.
And hit that notification bell.
Yep. And also, social media links down below, because now we have a TikTok.
Yep. Now we are TikTokers. Well, we'll say that for right now. We'll use that term very loosely.
Just don't expect Doc or me in a thong. That's not pretty.
Definitely not in a thong. Nobody wants that kind of punishment.